When I escaped Christianity and chose to be an atheist, I realized that the church teaches its members that women should not have careers. Now, before any of you out there who are from liberal churches say that religions don't teach their ladies not to have careers, some liberal churches out there actually do teach that women can have careers, that there's nothing wrong with women having careers at all. But there's always, in fundamentalist churches, there's always a undercurrent that women must put their families first. And yeah, guys, especially husbands in churches, are expected to do the same. But men in church are expected to provide for their family. They're supposed to be the man, the provider. Being the man in a biblical home means to provide, to protect, defend, and to lead. Women are supposed to follow, to protect, and women's ability to earn money is always secondary to their ability to go into the outside world and have a job. Their number one duty is to take care of the family, while a man's duty in fundamentalism is to make money. The sexism looks different depending on what gender you are. And it's so true how these things happen. So you look at how churches assume the dynamics of relationships happen. Women are often criticized for spending too much time outside the home. Men can spend 99% of their time outside the home. As long as they're doing something for the church or for an employer, men are praised. But if a woman spends more time working or with the church than her own family, she's criticized. She's looked down on, like she's a pariah. And I do know that many liberal churches no longer have the old sexist expectations. They expect women, especially in this economy, to be out there working. Because for most people, one salary isn't going to be enough to cover a home and all the amenities that are the bare basics of having kids. I'm not saying that nobody can live off one salary. But if you have a nuclear family, the odds are against one person's salary. You really do have to have two salaries to survive in the world now, especially in America. And what's the outcome? Why does this matter? Because when biblical texts tell you that a woman's place is in the home, is in direct contrary evidence to the realities of the modern world. Maybe back when my parents were young, in the 60s and 70s, you could survive thrive, especially in the baby boomer or the silent generation. But you can't. Unless you're a single person, if you have a family, you just need a minimum of 2 people's salaries to survive, to thrive, and to live beyond just barely covering all your utilities and your rent. People need 2 salaries. And when your religion tells you that the best way to live is for a woman to be at home, being the majority of the work when it comes to childcare, people will say, there's no way to do that. And in some ways, you are right. Society has moved on, but for some reason, Christianity is always stuck in the Stone Age. Why are women expected to do the majority of home work? Why are men applauded for making money and just being a provider? Women are villainized for doing half of the providing. Because Christianity has always upheld gender roles. And the whole problem with religion is that they don't believe everyone should have their own way of life. Everyone has to conform to a standard that really was out of sync 50 to 100 years ago. There's nothing wrong with a woman having a career. And women should not have to squelch their career, their ability to make good money, because they have to be a role that resembles a mother. If you want to be, fine. Enjoy it, embrace it. But you don't have to be the primary caregiver. Find somebody who wants a partner, an equal partner, not just a domestic